Coming up in World News Australia, the US Congress has hailed Julia Gillard during her historic address to a joint sitting. The Prime Minister was given several standing ovations. Big Business voices its concern over the government's carbon plan. And divisions emerged between the PM and the Foreign Minister over calls for a no-fly zone over Libya. Those stories and more at 9:30.
Final Zumbo challenge.
I'm going to give you the opportunity to create your own cake.
Who will impress the boss?
Very good.
And who won't make the grade?
Holy shit.
Zumbo, next Thursday, 7:30, SBS 1.
Let's spread the love in 2011 with So Frenchy, So Chic. A double CD featuring France's greatest artists. So Frenchy, So Chic 2011. Available now on CD at Dimmicks, JB Hi-Fi and retailers. SBS Online brings you cinema from around the world with all the news, reviews and festival coverage you need.
Let there be light.
SBS shines a light on the world of film, online, anytime.
Tell you what I dream about in my pillow.
You take a plant that costs virtually nothing to produce and you make it worth more than its weight in gold.
The many sides to the opium story.
Because of this opium, he can afford rice.
The Americans cannot possibly win the war on drugs. They're not allowed to stop fighting.
It's not about protecting kids down the street from drugs. Drugs are about money. That's really what's driving the trade.
Let's get real. This is life and death.
Just stop. Are you winning?
Challenge your perspective. Raw Opium, Sunday 9:30 on SBS 1.
One perfect bean. One full flavoured cup. One irresistible aroma. One smooth taste. One ingredient for quality coffee. The Arabica bean. Nescafe Gold. 100% Arabica beans. Nothing else.
50 months interest-free on furniture, bedding, carpets and flooring ends this weekend at Harvey Norman. That's no deposit, no interest till 2015. Lounges, dining, entertainment and home office furniture. Big brand mattresses, ensembles, bedroom suites in Manchester, carpets, rugs and flooring. Buy now and get a massive 50 months interest-free with monthly repayments. No deposit, no interest till 2015. Offer ends this weekend. Hurry! A huge range of furniture, bedding, Manchester, carpets and flooring and 50 months no deposit interest-free at Harvey Norman now.
Yo, we have the leopard fence. There must be a record for that.
We have the record, sir.
What time is it?
6 seconds.
The one who did that is my boss. Bring on your boss.
Let's not waste any time then. Let's go.
If I don't make it, can you give this to my mum? Bring it on! What time? Different 7. Good night, brother.
At Jalna, we simply take pure milk and friendly cultures, put a lid on, and let nature do the rest. So unlike most yogurts, ours is pot set with no added cane sugar, no preservatives, no gelatin and starches, and no colouring. At Jalna, we don't add anything artificial. So you know what you're eating is pure. Jalna, a little pot of purity.
To make a film great, you need great characters. And this March, SBS 2 has the best of them. The benevolent.
Shut up, you'll be next.
The revolutionary. The savage. The frightened. The astute. And the faithful. Characters that make a film great. Every night throughout March on SBS 2.
Scotland. It's an ancient and magical place, packed with legends and heroic characters. This is what people today like to imagine their Viking ancestors looked like. I want to look beyond the legends to find the real story of Scotland. But like any good mystery story, there's a twist.
A History of Scotland begins Sunday 7:30 on SBS One.
Come over this way. That's it. All right. Stand up.
So you guys end up going to Joshy's then?
I'm really sorry.
About this?
I feel really bad about what happened.
I wouldn't even remember. Here we go. He's okay. He's all right. Come on.
Mate, you didn't do anything. You did nothing.
A recent study has shown a diet that's both low GI and high in protein can help you manage your weight. But what you might not know is that Special K Original is not only low GI, but one of the highest protein cereals available. And it's deliciously crispy. Make a choice you can feel good about. With low GI, high protein Special K Original.
At the Hyundai 2010 model clearance, discover the limited edition i30 Trophy, featuring a sporty 2-litre engine, alloy wheels, Bluetooth and rear spoiler, all from $21,990 drive away. What are you waiting for?
So what do you think? Are we ever going to run out of myths? No way, dude. Common cold myths. Let's do it.
Germaphobes beware.
Oh, God, it looks like a murder scene here.
How far will your cold germs spread?
Hold them up into the light. Oh, yeah.
And how do you escape one of the coldest places on Earth?
I'm all right. This plan has not gone to plan.
The sea's getting rougher now, which could be a sign that the tide's changing. All new episodes of Mythbusters and Man vs. Wild, Monday from 7:30, SBS One.
Coming up, the US Congress has hailed Julie Gillard during her historic address to a joint sitting, giving her several standing ovations, and the government rejects big business concerns about its carbon plan. Details next.
Hate moving house? Imagine moving an entire town.
They're doing 9 houses per week.
We're all excited, worried.
Planes, trains and submarines are just the beginning. These guys will move just about anything.
We're clear, thank you very much.
No haul is too huge. No cargo too colossal.
I think it's gonna crash.
Monster Moves, Saturday 7:30 on SBS One.
We do some rather schmancy things, you and I. We say ciao instead of goodbye. We put TVs where TVs were never meant to go, and add Roman pillars just for show. In fact, we like to look flash whenever we can. We whiten our teeth and spray on our tan. But with Macca's new premium M selections, who needs schmancy? Life's good enough when you're a little bit fancy. So try Macca's delicious new M selections today. They're sure to delight. From the very first taste to the very last bite.
Right now in Perth, we have a gap between how much water we have and how much we use each year. And our drying climate means we can't always rely on water flow into our dams to bridge that gap. That's why it's vital to keep saving 60 litres of water per person per day. We can't control the rain, but we can control our savings. And together, we can help stop Perth from drying out. Authorised by the Water Corporation, Leederville.
Life in the building and construction industry is awesome. It gives you a head start in life and you can develop a long-term career. You'll earn great money. How you spend it is up to you. Call or visit the website now and build a future with no limits. Authorised by the State Government, Perth.
Life on
the surface of this planet survived surrounded by this thin, flimsy envelope of gas. This piece of magnificently overpowered engineering is going to take me 18 kilometres straight up. I'm hoping to see something that only a handful of people have ever seen.
Our atmosphere like you've never seen it before. Wonders of the Solar System, Tuesday, 8:30. Next Thursday, you're invited to a fully immersive dining experience.
I'm sending my diners 20,000 leagues under the sea.
They're carrying live ammunition.
I'm risking shark-infested waters to create a Victorian starter in which nothing is quite what it seems. I want to scale up the idea and create a completely edible coral reef. We can uncover the future of sustainable marine cuisine.
It's a premiere event, Heston's Fishy Feast, next Thursday, 8:30.
Family Confidential, now on DVD.
There's a lot of surprises.
Take a peek at the lives of some of Australia's most famous and influential families as they open their doors and reveal all.
I've had a very enjoyable life.
He was out of control. I didn't recognise him.
But when you fail, you are on your own. I'm a victim, not an initiator of.
One thing I have a lot of respect, and I want to keep that tradition going.
The Family Confidential DVD, out now at Dimmicks, JB Hi-Fi and retailers.
Oh, that smells good. Chili. Oh, that is so fragrant. Chili's going up my nose. I'm about to sneeze.
Wow.
Sweet, without putting sugar in.
That's beautiful.
The Honourable Gillard, Prime Minister of Australia.
Australia's leader gets a warm welcome in the US Congress as she reaffirms trans-Pacific ties. But she's apparently at odds with the Foreign Minister over a no-fly zone in Libya. The federal government rejects business concerns about the timing of its carbon plan.
Space Shuttle Discovery now on final approach to the Kennedy Space Center.
And the end of the road for the first shuttle blasted into space. Good evening, Peter J. Madden with SBS World News Australia. Libya, Afghanistan and East Timor have topped the agenda at talks in New York between Australia's Prime Minister and the UN Secretary-General. Earlier in Washington, Julie Gillard won numerous standing ovations from a joint session of the United States Congress. As with past addresses, though, more than two-thirds of the seats were filled by ring-ins. But senior Democrats and Republicans were there, some moved by Ms Gillard's strong pro-American sentiment.
The Honourable Julie Gillard, Prime Minister of Australia.
She stood out in a sea of suits. The fourth Australian leader invited here got straight to the point.
Distinguished members of the Senate and the House, you have a true friend down under.
Julia Gillard's address to a joint session of the US Congress was also a personal story of how a little girl who would one day be Prime Minister had marvelled at Americans walking on the moon.
I always remember thinking that day, Americans can do anything.
There are some things they won't do. She pressed American lawmakers for action on climate change and economic reform.
In both our countries, real mates talk straight. So as a friend, I urge you only this: be worthy to your own best traditions. Be bold.
She acknowledged her predecessor Kevin Rudd and, for former political foe John Howard, who was in Washington on September 11 10 years ago, only praised today.
He was and is an Australian patriot, a man who was moved by what he saw here in that terrible September. He was and is a friend of America.
The Prime Minister spoke of lives lost in Afghanistan and cautioned about handing security to locals too soon.
We must not transition out only to transition back in. We must not.
She backed US policy on China and the Middle East and called the late Ronald Reagan a great symbol of optimism.
The only greater symbol of American optimism is America itself.
Julia Gillard is preaching reform to the great reformers, urging Americans not to succumb to internal pressure to pull down the shutters. She's trying to practice at home what she's preaching here, in the hope that fortune really does favour the brave.
She brought Republican Speaker John Boehner to tears as her own emotion overtook her in the end.
I firmly believe you are the same people who amazed me when I was a small girl by landing on the moon. On that great day, I believed Americans could do anything. I believe that still.
They believed her and responded accordingly. In Washington, Karen Middleton, World News Australia.
Here, the federal government has rejected advice from business that it should delay its carbon plan to allow companies to prepare for the scheme. More than 20 of Australia's leading companies have raised concerns about the timing.
They're some of the giants of business, from Rio Tinto to Shell to Xstrata. 24 companies and 12 industry groups say they're concerned about when the carbon scheme will begin. But the Treasurer says it's not a message he's been hearing.
What the business community says to me is they want certainty. They need to know what the carbon price is so they can make the investment to drive the clean energy future we want.
But the group's submission to the government goes further than that. It warns that some companies